From Frankfurt School, this is Studio 57, and I'm Micha Finn-Kittel. Joining me today is Julius Mundt. Julius is a 2x Ironman as well as an ultramarathon runner covering distances with up to 100 kilometers. By participating in such events, he was able to raise multiple thousands of euros for charity. In this episode, expect to learn more about his experience with endurance sports, as well as valuable advice on how to become more disciplined and on how to handle setbacks. Enjoy. Julius, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
So maybe to give this episode a little bit of background to sort of set the tone, you're my very first guest. And I have to say, I think I genuinely couldn't have wished for a better guest, because the first time I heard about you was back in my second semester. I just joined the FS charity initiative, and the charity of the month was being announced, and it was this master student. And I saw this picture of you, and it said that you would run a 100-kilometer ultramarathon for the charity ISB to raise funds for people with terminal illness. And I thought, who is this guy? So this is why I'm really excited for this episode today. But maybe before we get into all of this, into Ironman, marathon, discipline, into all of these topics, let's start off with you and your academic journey. Where are you from? Where did you do your bachelor's? What led you to Frankfurt School?
Yeah, so thank you. I'm from Darmstadt, so that's nearly 40 kilometers from here. A small city nearby, Oberramstadt is it called. Maybe you've heard of it because of Alpina Weiß. When you have to paint your apartment, that's the color you need, and that's the company. Where is it from Oberramstadt. I started first with law at the Goethe University and realized that it was not my topic, or so to say, not my study that I wanted to approach in the end. So I switched to business administration, or at the Goethe University it's called economics, Wirtschaftswissenschaften, so that you have business administration and economics in combination. And then I think I realized that it's important that you not only need to be good at theory, but also for practical insights. So I did different internships. For example, in the beginning, I was at the Deutsche Bundestag with Christoph Ploss. He's one member of the parliament from CDU.
Oh.
And also at KPMG, first in the regulation asset management, and then I switched the teams and was later then there at it was more like merger and acquisition part of, and
so investment banking.
Yeah, right. And later also with my dad, he owns a consultancy mainly the main focus is franchise. So I think this was in the beginning very important for me, that I not only had to study and saw that there are only numbers and I have to calculate things, so that I also have the practical insights. And then I finished my bachelor degree. Prior to that, I was in Finland for an exchange. That was really nice, and also with a different culture.
For an exchange with the university? Or?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Not as a free mover, it was a partner university in Aalto in Finland, so in Helsinki. And I think it was also the time where I started with my sports. Then we will come to that topic. And that was a really nice experience. Also one reason why I decided that I want to do also an exchange here at the Frankfurt School. I will do my exchange in San Diego in January, so only I think 7 or 8 weeks away from now. And yeah, after my bachelor, I started the application for the Frankfurt School, was then successful, and started here with the management track and with the concentration leadership. And that's it at the moment. I'm in my third semester, so nearly 1 year away from graduation. Yeah, and that's from my academic side. First off, yeah.
Do you already know in sort of like which direction you want to go career-wise?
I think I will stay with also one project in the fitness industry with my own gym that we want to launch in the end of this year or maybe in January next year. But also I think in the consultancy track and also in the area of asset management or financial advisory. Yeah.
No, that's really interesting. I mean, it makes sense that you then like chose management and leadership as a concentration. I think that connects quite well.
Yeah.
Especially with the fitness industry, that it's not, I would say, limited or not solely financial, right?
Yeah, I think it's also important that you have like a balance. So for different types of things that you have to do, that it's not only the work, but also that you combine it with sports or sports related stuff. Yeah.
Maybe talking about sports, let's cover that right now. We are recording today on a Wednesday, and on Sunday we both ran the Frankfurt Marathon, and I saw that you trained for quite some while for a sub-3 marathon, so doing the marathon 42.2 kilometers in less than 3 hours, and you did it. What was that like? What was like the journey towards this goal?
I think the journey itself was from a very long time. So I started running in, I think, 2021. The beginning was when the friend of my mother said to me that it's not possible for me to run a marathon. So that was the starting point. Also with the Ironman 2 years or 3 years later, that was the same thing that he said it's not possible.
So you had to prove him wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he is a guy that did already different Ironman competitions and also the worlds at the Ironman. So he was or is someone that has the expertise.
Yeah.
So
why did he say then that you wouldn't be able to do it?
I think because at this time I was more or less only in the fitness theme. So I was very bulky and was only training. So I think maybe he underestimated my mental power, that we will talk later. But yeah, that was the initial step. Yeah. And I think, in 2021 I started, and without any good or proper training techniques, I didn't have a trainer or someone that told me things. There was no ChatGPT, so it was not so easy. And also with the nutrition, so you can say, I think you also know it's more or less the most important thing, that you have very good nutrition added to the training you need beforehand.
Yeah.
But nutrition is key in endurance. So this was in 2021 more like a nice training run from the perspective from today, but it was also very good. And I think the mental thing was there very high. So I was very ready also for the first run. I did it with a friend of mine during the Corona crisis. And then I did 2021, then 2022 and the following years. And it was every year a better result, because
each year you did the Frankfurt Marathon or
yeah. So 2021 we did it like an intern marathon. So we run from a city near Darmstadt to my grandparents. So these were the 42, and also with a very high elevation. So not only a flat ground. And the following years, when Corona was over, these were the Frankfurt marathons. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think sub-3, at least for me, is far away. So that's congratulations. So you said that you were mostly lifting, and then you sort of in Finland began with endurance training.
Yeah, maybe a few months ago, but yeah, nearly the same time. Yeah.
And now, I mean, you're still doing both, right? You're not doing solely endurance training. I mean, you're still quite big.
True, yeah. It's more like a hybrid approach. That's nowadays all the people call it. But I think at one point only lifting was not so interesting anymore, because I know when you do like a 1 rep max or something like this for maybe 5 or 10 seconds, it's very hard to perform like 1 repetition. But it's another thing if you have to run like the last 10 kilometers from a marathon without fuel, or when it's very hard, and that's not only 10 or 15 seconds. That's more like, I don't know, 1 hour or maybe 1 hour and 10 minutes. So that's quite a harder challenge. And that's more the mental game then. So I would also say, in the endurance, it's 80 or 90% the mental thing, and 10% or 20% training and nutrition.
Okay. So how did that develop exactly? Because, I mean, you were in lifting, and then I don't know what role your mom's friend had in this, in saying, hey, you couldn't do this because you are a lifter, not an endurance athlete. And I also saw that you quoted David Goggins multiple times. You read Can't Hurt Me, his book. I read it as well, actually. So what role did that play, and how did you sort of like start out with running and then later on triathlon as well?
I think there are very good and also bad things on social media, but I would say one good thing is was the first time I had with David Goggins on Instagram. So I saw a video, and then like you wrote a book. And I saw, okay, it's very inspirational. So a guy that weighed like, I don't know, 130 or 40 kilogram, and he had to downsize like 40 or 50 kilo in 3 months to fit the criteria for the military. And then he started running, and not only the, so to say, normal distances or the like a marathon, but more like really, really long races with the 100 kilometer or 200 kilometer, 100 miler, and also with very, very high elevation at a different altitude. So I think this was the starting point where I saw, okay, there are things that are at the moment for me impossible to say or to proceed it from my head, but it's possible. And I think this was maybe the first time that I thought about it, what is possible if you really put in the work, and then you can see how far you can go.
Yeah. So you then just sort of progressed from there on.
Yeah, I think this would be the best story, but no. So I tried to adapt all the training techniques, and also then I reached out to a trainer that guided me. But there were also ups and downs. For example, with the when I had the exchange in Finland, and then I got back, I got back for a weekend. Then I ran the marathon. I thought I would place much better than in the result in the end, and that was the first time where it's okay. It's also important that you have a very good mindset, or it's not. There are also like it's regarding how good your day is. It's not only every time that you say, okay, training is perfect, and then on this day you will have the perfect result. So I think this was the first time I realized it's also important with which attitude you go into a race. And there were also bigger setbacks, for example, with the Berlin Marathon, I think 5 or 6 weeks ago, where I first tried my sub-3, and I failed it with 17 or 18 minutes. So that's a very big time gap.
Yeah.
And I think, the most important thing after that was that I accepted the, so to say, failure for me. And then I didn't change anything or the plans, but I kept my head high and then trained as before. And in the end, it was successful. But I think this was, the last setback from this bigger races. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. I mean, and you accomplished it just now.
Yeah.
Yeah. When did you start, or where did this idea come from to include charity or link charity with endurance running? Because I think you did multiple things. You did the German Foundation for Cancer with your Frankfurt Marathon in 2023, as well as your Ironman, your first Ironman in 2024, and also the ASB Wünschwagen with your 100-kilometer ultra. What was this also like a parallel that with David Goggins, but because he did that as well, or how did that come to be?
Very good question. I think it was not a direct link to David Goggins. I think he did the project for people that were out of the military and were like hurt.
I think veteran families. People left behind.
I thought first with the first thing that I did that it's important to do like a bigger event and then try to do or have a social impact. Because I thought, okay, I will run the marathon or the 100 kilometers without or with the social thing or project. So why not to combine both? So I think this was the first thing. And on the other hand, normally people maybe are not so invested to help people, so to say. So I think people are more eager to help people when they see, okay, there is someone that put in the work for a good cause, and then maybe I'm more open to donate money for charity.
Yeah. I mean, and it worked out, right? I mean, you raised multiple thousands.
Yeah.
Maybe one thing that naturally comes to mind is, I mean, the stakes, and you've said that as well, that you might have a bad day, that maybe all the circumstances are not perfect for race day. You automatically increase the stakes as soon as you bring other people into this whole thing, right? Because there are people then donating because you are doing this particular event, this particular race.
Yeah.
Did you have this thought of, what if I fail? Or was that something that didn't come to mind?
It came to mind. The best would be if it's not the case, but it came to mind. But I think it's more like a positive pressure. So I chose that I want to do this or this project, and I think then it's easier to accomplish these things. And also, if you tell many people that you have like a project, or with the sub 3, it's easier to accomplish it, especially for me, because I think, okay, when I will not put in the work or when I not give my best, people maybe think, okay, why did he say, okay, he want to run a sub 3-hour marathon and then he did not accomplish it. So I think, it's a positive pressure. And
so both in training and on like throughout the actual race.
Yeah,
sure. That makes sense. There's this one quote that I saw on your social media quite a lot, and I don't know if I pronounce this correctly because this is Latin, like Facit, omnia, voluntas. I think it translates into German as the will is decisive. What does that mean for you personally?
I think at first, it's not from David Goggins. It's from a German special operation unit. KSK is it called. And I think it's a very good quote, because I think you can also translate it to different areas in life. So it's not only sports, you can also use it in different areas. but in the end, the mental attitude is, I think is the biggest factor that you can influence, but it's also the biggest factor for the outcome. So if you say, okay, I think the race will be perfect, the stakes are higher that the race will be perfect.
Yeah.
If you put in the work beforehand, that's the thing that you need to do. But yeah, I think that's the biggest factor. Because there are people that train perfectly, also for the marathons, or also in the endurance sports, and then at kilometer 35 or 36 or 37, they have problems. That's normal. So everyone have problems in the end of a longer race. But then it's important to stay calm, to also battle these problems in your head, so to say. And then it's important that you are ready to fight. And I think that's the biggest thing, because in the end you can lose very, very, very big time. Mm-hmm. And if you are able to get through this, you will succeed in the end. And I think you can also, like I said, use it in different areas. So also in, I would say, normal things. So that's not so big, not like a big race, but also with exam, for example, or also in the personal life.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think I saw this, that you wrote on your hand, losing hurts more. Yeah, which makes absolute sense, because I think for me, this is something I notice as well. I think you run a certain mileage, a certain amount of kilometers with training, but at some point it becomes all mental. And maybe this is even something, I mean, you now like made or mentioned this bridge, that it's not like limited to sports, but also goes over into exams, relationships, you name it. And I think this is something that endurance sports does, right? You notice, or you fight this battle, and it's not solely that you invest 8 to 10 hours, probably in your case even more, a week into sports, but it's the thing you get from that, the person you become in the process, right? And this inevitably carries over into the way you have your relationships, you approach work, etc. Yeah,
I would also say with the quote, it hurts more to lose, from the World Championship holder from Christian Blumenfeld. Mm-hmm. And I would also say that's exactly the thing. So the first thing that comes into your mind when you're after, or when you did a race, and then normally you go showering or something, and then the first thing you will think of is, why did I quit? And think that's the biggest thing also for me, because I know when I want to quit and then I would quit, the biggest thing for me would like, why did I quit in this moment? So if you're able to maybe to get through the race or to push it further, that's the thing.
Yeah. I think this is something that David Goggins had as well, because I think when he first attempted the Moab, mm-hmm. which is, I don't know how much exactly, I think 240 miles. Yeah. I think the first time he didn't finish, he was like just thinking about it, and I think it was very evident to him that like losing is more hurtful, and I think he couldn't gain or get back his calmness after not like attempting it again and actually finishing it.
And he also said, like, when he missed the workout, for example, when he only did, instead of 12 miles, he only did 11 miles. And then in his head was, okay, maybe this 1 mile is the mile that sets the tone for the whole marathon or the whole endurance event in, 5-6 weeks, whatever. So I think that's also a very good thing, if you are aware that you need the training, and that maybe one small thing that you didn't do could have a big impact in the end.
Yeah. Wow. Maybe something that might be interesting is, if you train for an Ironman or a 100-kilometer ultra, how does a normal week of exercise or a day look like, and how much time does it actually consume?
I think the most important thing is that you have a very good schedule. So Ironman, I would say, it's good to plan because there are normally not so many people that are involved. So you do it alone. You don't have to, but it's simpler to do it alone sometimes. So Ironman, there are 3 different themes. So the first one is that you have to swim, then bicycle and running. So normal week for me was only 1 to 2 times swim because I don't like to swim. And it's not a thing that I want to improve so hard, because I think the time that you need for swimming, if you are good or bad, the difference is not so big, and you have more impact if you are better at bicycle or if you're better at running. So there is a bigger impact. So I only did like 1 to 2 times swimming a week. Then I did like 3 times on a bicycle, whether it was inside at the gym, like ergometer. So you can also bicycle on a trainer or outside. And then I did like 3 to 4 sessions of running. And sometimes you combine it. So you first go on your bicycle, and then straight after you go running, so that you only have a spare time like 5 to 10 minutes, so that you have like a simulation of one part, like a simulation of the Ironman, so that the body also adapts. Yeah. But normally I would say there are also deload weeks and recovery weeks. But I would say in a intensive week, I did like 18 to 20 hours a week. So maybe, I don't know, on average 3 hours a day.
So almost time-wise a part-time job.
So to say, yeah. But it was very nice because normally I did my runs in the morning or in the evening, but not throughout the day. So it was easier to do all the other things like university or work or meeting friends or family, something like this. Yeah. Okay. And I think for me, it was also with the eat a frog, the principle. So the first thing when I had to swim was that I did it in the morning, because then I knew, okay, the day will only be better. This was normally the first thing I did on the beginning of each week.
Okay. So, I mean, this takes like months, right? And there's this saying that the happiest a person can be is one day to achieving their dreams. Like almost figuratively, metaphorically, almost at the summit, you can already see the view, but you do not yet have this feeling of what's next, what now. Did you experience something similar with Ironmans or the Ultra in regards to what next, like a post-Ironman low?
I would say it's very important that you also see like the way, and also the way you already did, because I think the biggest problem is that there are always people that are better than you. There are different factors. Some people have a better genetic thing that they are better than you, or they don't have to run like 3 or 4 times for the same output in the end. So I think the first one is that you don't have to compare yourself to other people, because that's not a good thing, and that you have to strive for the best version of yourself, because that's the only thing that you can track if you are better than last year or the year before. And I think it's important that you see normally the way that you already did, because when you say, okay, this is what the marathon, and then the next endurance event, and then after 100 kilometers, I will do, I don't know, bigger mileage. So it's it's a problem when you can't sit still and say, okay, that's what I already achieved, and that's very good, and you can be better, but at the moment that's also very, very good point that I'm at.
Yeah. No, I think that's really profound, that you don't like constantly strive for more, but actually are proud of what you've achieved already.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe something that is particularly interesting to students, because the way I experienced, for me, it was when I did my A-levels in the German gymnasium, you have this clear structure, right? You have clear deadlines, you have mandatory classes. And then when you come to university, this is sort of this time where you have to figure out discipline. You have so much stuff that is voluntary lectures, and you have to take exams. You're even allowed to push exams in a way, or at least students do. And as you are someone that, in my opinion, embodies self-discipline, what is advice you would give to students that struggle really with self-discipline or procrastination?
I think the biggest thing is that it's more important that you do small steps instead of very big steps on only one particular day. So I think it's better than you do every day like 20 minutes of learning, or 30 minutes, that's maybe better, or 1 or 2 runs a week, instead of you only learn like for 2 or 3 days, the whole day before an exam. So I think you can translate it to every aspect, but especially also in sports. It's better when you have when you are disciplined and do it like every day or in a specific manner, and not only like shortly before exams or for a big event, because then it will not happen that you get a very good result.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, you've experienced setbacks as well, or like failures, if you would. I think everyone does, obviously. What would your advice be how to handle this? Or did you learn something in endurance that translated over into other aspects of life, like university, business?
I think a setback is not a big thing, because it's normal, it's part of life that not every time it goes exactly as you planned. But I think it's more important that you can accept the, so to say, failure, and then move on, and that you also adapt some things that you might have to change. So normally after every race, or also after maybe or also an exam, I do like an after race report, so that I write down, okay, I don't know, the preparation went well, the nutrition was beforehand very good, my race strategy was perfectly as planned, or I don't know, I should have done the first kilometers on a slower pace, so that I can see it or for my next race, that I can see, okay, what went good and what went wrong. So I think you can use this also for setbacks, because you know that there will be times when it's tough, or when you need it, and then you can say, okay, that's my reference, or these were the things that worked last time, and then I can implement it for the new challenge or the maybe new setback, and then I can use it for a better outcome. But I would say setbacks are normal, and not every time it will be goes out as it planned. But I think that's also a very good thing, because otherwise it would be very boring. So also with my race at Berlin, in the first minutes, or also in the hours afterwards, I was very sad. But I think in the end, the outcome also with Frankfurt was very nice, because now I will see it as a much bigger race with the prior experience from Berlin. And it's more worth for me, the race now, than Berlin 5 weeks ago.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. Okay. What do you have planned in the years ahead? Do you have, I mean, you already mentioned while we talked about the 100-kilometer ultramarathon that you might do, I don't know, maybe a longer mileage. Will you participate in the next Ironman?
I will do like I said, the semester abroad at San Diego. Mm-hmm. So there's one race that also David Goggins did, the Badwater 135.
It's 135 miles, right?
Yeah.
And it's through more or less through the desert, right?
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. I don't know what it's 135 miles, how many kilometers, but it's
definitely more than 200.
More than 200, yeah. So these are different type of race, because the 100-kilometer run was that you run without breaks.
Yeah.
And normally also without a team, or that there were like nutrition things. So I only had like, maltodextrin and fructose. So these were the things that were the nutrition at the 100-kilometer race. So that's more a bigger run. So there will be also team members if you wish, but you can also participate alone. And I think the biggest challenge there is the heat. So you plan on participating? Yeah, I plan to participate, but I'm not sure if everyone is like can be there. So if there is a limit, so I have to find it out. But I think this will be one thing. And what's also very important, you heard it, I know, but maybe some of the people that are listening, also last man standing would be very nice option. I tried to get into the last Seoul Ultra from Kim Gottwald, and also in combination with André Schürrle. This was the competition that took place, I think, 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, something like this. Yeah. I think beginning of October.
Yeah, so where you have to run like every hour 6.7 kilometers. And until the last man is standing, or woman. This would be one thing I want to try, definitely, because I think there's more like the mental thing that I want to try or to test more, because there are people that can run like a marathon in, I don't know, 2 hours and 20 minutes or 25 minutes. So that's extremely high level, but I think the longer you run, the more it's important with your mind and also with the setting. So I think that's one thing I'm very good at. So this is one thing I want to do, definitely. So last man standing, maybe if there's also one in San Diego or nearby, and the Badwater, and maybe we plan to run like 200 kilometers from Cologne to Frankfurt, or from Frankfurt to Cologne, or maybe when that's not happening because of the
Who is we?
A friend of mine and me, but it's not so sure if he can run also, because that the preparation was a bit too short. Or maybe that I will do the length of these 200 kilometers in Frankfurt, so that I only ran at the mine, so 100 kilometer one direction and back. I think this is one thing that I want to do, but I'm not sure. Maybe in the end of November, so before my exchange. And I think that's it. I want to try high rocks, but I'm not sure if it's happening because there are no place left. So it's not so easy to get in. But I think the combination is very exciting, so that you can run and that you can do the lifting things in between. And this would maybe also be a thing that fits good for me, because normally runners can't lift and normally the lifters can run. So I think the combination is very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that you're in the best position for that as a hybrid athlete, right?
Yeah.
Who can both lift and is quite fast.
And it's in Frankfurt, so this would be also nice. You don't have to go anywhere.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. I think there's so much value in that. I think this is something that David Goggins says as well. It's not that you, I don't know, sign up for something hard. Doesn't need to be sports, but then sort of rest on your accomplishments, but keep on going, which is exactly what you're doing, which I think is really, really profound.
Yeah, and I think the good thing is that you can always be better. So you don't have to compare yourself to other people, but you or yourself can always be better. So there is no, like you said, there is no finish line. So also with running, so there in the beginning it's easier to get like 10 or 15 minutes quicker than the last time, but after 5, 6, 7 or 8 years, you can maybe only reduce your time like 1 or 2 minutes, and I think that's very outstanding if you then perform on this level that you say, okay, next year I will also run the marathon, and maybe I get only like 10, 15 or 20 seconds quicker, but that's also a very big accomplishment if you see, okay, I will be the better version of myself 1, 2 or 3 years after.
Okay. So then what we usually do is at the end of each podcast, we do a sort of lightning round.
Mm-hmm.
And the way it works is I give you a question and you just try to answer quite concisely. Mm-hmm. Sounds good? Okay. So first question, mountains or the beach?
Mountains.
Which book, and I would now say that you're not allowed to say Can't Hurt Me from David Goggins, impacted your life?
After Can't Hurt Me, I would say it's Never Finished. It's also from David Goggins.
Mm-hmm. The follow-up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then maybe to finish off, if all of your social media was deleted and you were only allowed to do one post or like sort of say one thing to the people out there, what would it be?
I think this would be a bit boring if I say Facit, omnia, voluntas, so that the will is everything is regard. But I think I would say that everyone should strive to become the best version of himself or herself. So that it's possible to get better, that you need a plan, and then when you stick to it, you will succeed in the end, sooner or later. But normally it pays off when you put in the work, and then you will see the results.
So Julius, the best of luck for your semester abroad in San Diego. Thank you very much for taking the time. You're an amazing individual, and I can't wait to see how you progress.
Thank you for the interview.
Perfect.